am the bone of my sword. Okay, my Noble Phantasm didn't activate, but guys, I will be activating the full potential, maybe even your Archer's Noble Phantasm in today's video, going over the best guide for Archer, how you should be building it, how you should be playing them, and everything that you're gonna need from it. Whether you're a new player, a free-to-play player, whatever player you might be, you need to be building on your account right now. More information on that in the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And let's go ahead and hop into the build right now, starting off with his best light cones first. You'll possibly have to be sniping your bank account and or credit card to get this on your account, because you can get this for absolutely free just by doing 200 pulls by the end of the full version patch, or you can just go to his light cone banner as well and pull it there. So kind of predatory, I know, but this is going to be his best in slot light cone, guys. Because this light cone, guys, will first of all be giving him increased crit rate. He already gives himself some crit damage, so getting the extra crit rate here is really nice. Also, when entering battle, if allies skill points is a max of 6 or higher, the wearer's attack will be increased by 40%. This is absolutely massive because he increases the max skill points of the whole team. And then on top of this as well, guys, you're going to be getting a stacking attack bonus whenever you use your skill move. If you know about his skills already, he does a rapid fire attack where you just keep firing skills off, so it's really easy to get up for him. Now on to his second best in slot option, guys. That's going to be cruising in the Stellar Sea. First of all, this is going to be giving you an increased crit rate off the rip. And on top of this, whenever you're defeating enemies, this will be giving him an attack increase as well. And the reason why attack is so important here is because he gives himself a lot of damage percentage, so that's the reason why you realistically want to be building him into attack and not really giving him as much or damage percent bonus. And that's why cruising in the Stellar Sea is going to be a better option than something like Zila's light cone, right? So hopping into the third best option now, that is going to be the new light cone we're getting to the game, which is going to be a battle pass light cone. You might want to subscribe to the channel if you want to see what the best options are for you to pick up for your first selection of the new set of battle pass light cones. But guys, this light cone here is going to be giving him a crit damage increase. And then on top of this, guys, his skill damage and follow-up attack damage is going to be increased as well. Most of his damage comes from his skill and ult anyway, so this is going to be a massive damage increase to his skill move here. Like I said, the damage percentage kind of gives diminishing returns there. You really want crit rate because he does give himself crit damage already, but overall, this is still a really good option to pick for him. But that's all that I have to say now in terms of the light cones for him. Let's go ahead and now talk about what his best in slot teams and teammates are and stuff like that, because you want to make sure that you have him on the correct team, because he will not function properly if you do not have him on the correct teams with, honestly, specific teammates. So let's go ahead and hop into his best in slot team right now. And that's going to be a team with him, Sparkle, Tribby, and Gallagher. Now, the reason why I'm recommending Gallagher as a sustain here is because Gallagher just gives you a lot of SP generation. You practically never have to use his skill move unless you're in a really, really bad situation. His Basoda will allow you to heal when you're attacking with your other allies. So with Archer's ability to attack multiple times on the ally, you will get his HP back up like that. So it's really, really good and really, really fast to get his SP up. In terms of Sparkle, though, Sparkle is going to be increasing your SP cap even higher, which will overall help him out in getting his crit damage increase. She'll also be giving him advanced action and all the other buffs that come with just Sparkle being on the team as well. And SP, you need SP because he uses 2 SP per skill move, and you want to use a lot of them at one time. He's very bursty in that sense, so you definitely want her on the team. And then Tribby's here because she's pretty decent at SP generation. She's also going to be providing you with follow-up attacks whenever you use the ultimate move, and just some extra parts of the damage bonus that you don't really get anywhere else on this team, like damage vulnerability and res pin. So this is hands down his best in slot team. But hopping into some other alternatives now, characters like Remembrance MC and Ting Yun are going to be really good here because Ting Yun's able to provide energy, also pretty SP positive, also is going to be giving him attack as well. Remembrance MC obviously giving him true damage. This unlocks that much more damage, pretty SP efficient, but he can also work well with like the new upgraded Silverwolf, Pela, and then also Cypher as well. Cypher giving a full damage vulnerability to every single enemy. She's really going to allow you to hit other parts of that damage formula. Now, one final teammate recommendation I want to make here is actually Sunday, and the reason I'm putting him kind of towards the end here is because of the fact that he is kind of SP neutral in a sense where you can action advance and then you use them again, so you can actually run out of a lot more SP this way, because it's generally you use your attacker, you action advance, and then you use your attacker again, which is usually overall like 2 SP negative. So with Archer consuming 2 SP per attack, this kind of doesn't make sense in a lot of scenarios, but I do think he can still be used when on the correct team, or if you have him in the correct setup. I think he is still a decent and viable option to use for you because he does give you increased energy back from ult and stuff like that, and just a plethora of other things. So I think Sunday can work here. I just don't think he works as good as the other ones. And don't even bring Bronny into this equation. She L. And then I guess on the same note as Sunday here, as Hanya can also work. Now, the reason why I have Hanya here is because Hanya wants an SP to give to him. The buff she provides, attack buff, is nice. She doesn't really give anything outside of that, really. She gives speed to him as well, which is okay, but you do get SP back from this as well. So, like, Hanya can work here, right? I don't think she's the best option in the world, but it is another viable option. So do keep that in mind. If you had a Hanya in your account and you don't have any of the other supports, she can work here. just don't know how much value you'll really get outside of this team, and really just overall value with him in general. So with the best teams out of the way, guys, let's go ahead now and talk about the part you've been waiting for, guys. Yes, right, the best build, best relics, relic sets, relic stats, everything like that. But before we hop into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. Are you watching on your TV? For some reason, people, I don't know the point I was gonna get there. People watch my video on the TV for some reason. I don't know. If you're watching on the TV, why? Anyways, guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and talk about those best in slot relics now. Starting off what I think to be his best in slot 4-piece set, guys, that's going to be the 4-piece Genius of the Brilliant Stars. This is going to be allowing him to get a quantum damage increase, which he's a quantum character. Zila's replacement. LLLLL. She's not getting a buff. LLLLL. Sorry, Zila fans, stands, I'm sorry about that. And then the 4-piece, guys, is going to be allowing him to ignore up to 20% defense if the enemy has a quantum weakness. So if you have someone like Silverwolf on the team, you can basically guarantee this at all times. And it's a absolutely free 20% defense shred as well. But that's not the only set you can run, because honestly, that set's kind of ass to farm in my opinion. I hate farming that set, and I don't think I'll ever farm that set again, even though it is the best in slot. My favorite set for him and what I'll be running is the 4-piece Scholar Lost in Year Edition. Now, the reason I'm running this set is because, first of all, it gives free crit rate. I have horrible luck with getting crit rate stats, so this is absolutely amazing for me. Secondly, with this, guys, at a 4-piece, it'll be increasing his damage dealt from skill and ultimate moves by 20%. After using his ultimate, he'll be getting increased damage dealt by the next skill. So this is going to be affecting his main source of damage by the most. So Scholar Lost in Year Edition, really, really good as well. Now, that's technically the second best in slot, but I definitely recommend farming that over Genius of the Brilliant Stars, unless you could use your relic scraps to get a set of the Genius. I don't know, but Scholar Lost in Year Edition, that's the one I'm using. Now, onto the planner sets, guys. I think there's really only one true set you can run here, and that's going to be the Runelet Arena set. Now, the reason I say that is because, first of all, it's giving increased crit rate. Secondly, guys, it'll be increasing his basic and skill attack damage. Now, guys, this won't be affecting his ultimate damage, which is kind of sad, but it does increase his main source of damage, which is his skill, which is really nice, and gives you an extra 8% crit rate. So just from the two sets alone, you're getting 16% free crit rate. And then also by running the free play light kiln, that's an extra free 16%. Under 50%, that's an extra 16. So literally like 48% free crit rate if the enemy is below 50% HP, which is absolutely massive for him. There's one other set you could run if you have him really fast, and that's going to be Glameth. Glameth really is just going to be providing him damage all across the board, depending on what your speed is, and also going to be giving him an attack increase as well, which he so desperately wants anyways. So overall, you could run that set too if you have him really, really fast, and you can meet the speed threshold, which I'll show that as a recommendation in the stats we're going to talk about right now. Starting off with the main stats first, guys. On the boots is going to be speed or attack, on the body is going to be crit rate or crit damage, on the rope is going to be attack percentage, and on the sphere is going to be attack or win damage percentage here. Now on the boots, guys, it's really going to depend on the team setup you have him in, right? So if you're running the Zila light cone for whatever reason, then you obviously want speed here. If you have him built with Glameth, then you want speed here as well. But if you're running him with a lot of action advancers, you don't really care about the speed, you can run attack percent here, as long as he is speed tuned correctly with your action advancer. Now hopping into the substats, guys, really just crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage, and or speed. Crit rate, you really want at least 100% if you can get it. Now it's really going to depend on what team you're running him and what you see before actually entering battle. Obviously, if you're running Sunday with him, you need a little bit less crit rate because Sunday provides crit rate to you. But overall, guys, crit rate 100%, because literally his attacks are single instance attacks, meaning if you miss a crit, that's a whole lot of damage you've just missed out on. And then obviously crit damage as high as you can get it, and then attack percentage as well here, guys. But gamers, that's all that I have to mention in terms of his build today. So if you clicked on the video just wanting to know the build, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And now we're going to talk about how you need to play him, how he actually works, and why you should be building one of your accounts. So guys, hopping into kind of what he does right now. First of all, he's a single target DPS, meaning he's not going to work very well in a lot of AoES scenarios, but he is probably going to be, if not one of the best single target DPS in the game, maybe up there with the best, okay guys? Like, he is really, really good in those single target scenarios. And his main gimmick here, guys, is literally spamming his skill move. And what I mean by this, guys, is you can literally get him, use skill, and then skill until you're out of skill points, essentially, or you want to exit this mode. He's going to be using 2 skill points every single time you use this, so he does run through a lot of skill points in this process. So he does get help from his talent here, because his talents will allow him to follow up when a teammate attacks with the enemy, and then when he does this follow-up attack on the enemy, this will actually be giving the team back 1 SP. You can have up to 4 charges here, and every single time you use the ultimate move, he gets 2 charges here. So basically, every time you use the ult, you get 2 charges. That means 2 follow-ups, which means 2 free SP for the team. And then while we're still on the topics of skill points here, guys, one of his talents also allows him to get a crit damage increase based off of when your allies gain a skill point for the team, and then you have over 4 skill points. This will be giving him a 120% crit damage buff, absolutely massive, for 1 turn. But with his skill moves, you can basically keep that on the whole time you're using skills with him until the turn's actually over. But then you'll have to get 4 skill points and then refresh that every single time you use them, essentially. So yeah, Sparkle feels like a must. But realistically, guys, that is essentially what he does in a nutshell. You get him out, You get him to the front, you skill out his ass, use all of his skill points essentially to do massive burst damage on one enemy, and then after his turn's over, you try to use the rest of the team to get SP regeneration, whether that by using basic attacks or anything like that. He does follow-up attacks to help get additional SP there as well. So all in all, literally burn through all SP, gain SP, burn through all SP again. That's how you play him. That's the easiest way to describe it, okay? But now let's hop into the final topic of the video. Why should you be building Archer, guys? I think, hands down, he'll be the best DPS in the game, single target wise anyways, right? I think he is the direct upgrade, or better than Dr. Ratio in a sense, because I feel like Dr. Ratio had a lot of issues on the release. Dr. Ratio wanted a lot of debuffers on your account to really enhance his damage a lot, which is actually kind of hard to do, because you're really relying on the enemies on the field and how many debuffs you can proc off on the enemies, whereas with him, it's kind of all self-contained to the team. If you have a decent team with a lot of SP generators, you're already be having 7 SP with them. So you have some correct light cones in place to give extra SP back whenever your supports use their ults and stuff like that, then this could also come in clutch with getting extra XP generation for him. He is like the Dragon Danny almost, like the better Dragon Danny, even though Dragon Danny's blast type, but I feel like he'll just do overall more damage than Dragon Danny because he can attack so many times in one turn, whereas Dragon Danny does 3 skill points and then 1 attack, you can do 2, right? So literally like kind of like Dragon Danny in the sense, right? And we all know that the content is going to be structured kind of around what these characters are going to bring to the table, and honestly it makes me feel like they're going to bring something a lot more single target oriented towards the game, which is honestly what Apocalyptic Shadow seemed to be. Maybe to lose some revamps here and there to make it more like that, but overall guys, he is a free 5-star signature DPS coming to the game. So I do just think by the merit alone of how his kit works and everything like that, and also with how kind of easy he is just to build as a character himself, which Dr. Ratio is kind of hard to build, I think he's an absolute must build. I think it will help you out in the mid game, early game, late game, every single stage of the game. And I do think he'll be sitting there at the top of the tier list with what he's able to provide for the team and able to do for you. So guys, with that being said, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Later, bye.